In this example, we're going to solve this equation here, and it looks like we have 100x minus 4x cubed equals 0. If this is something you would like to try on your own first, go ahead and pause the video and do so, and then come on back and we'll work a solution together. All right, so the way we're going to do this is by factoring, and so we have all of our terms on one side of the equation of equals 0, and that's where we want to be. And so let's consider factoring this expression. So it looks like I have just two terms, and it also looks like that there's a greatest common factor that I can pull out of both of those terms before I get started. So as far as the 100 and the 4 is concerned, I can pull a 4 out, and we have an x and an x cubed, so I can pull an x out. So whenever I pull out this greatest common factor, what I'm left with, it looks like, is 25 minus x squared, and then that'll equal 0. This right here looks like the difference of two perfect squares, so we can factor this using, difference of squares. So we have our 4x that's out there, and then we're going to factor this. So what is the square root of 25? And it's going to be 5, and minus and plus. And then what's the square root of x squared? Well, just x. So we have now factored this expression on the left side. And so what's going to happen now is we're going to use the zero property of multiplication, which says, we've got a few things, we're multiplying them all together, and we get 0. So if we get 0 when we multiply, well, at least one of these has to be 0. So we're going to account for all of them, and we're just going to say 4x equals 0, 5 minus x equals 0, and 5 plus x equals 0. And we're just going to solve. So in this first one, we're just going to divide both sides by 4, and it looks like x equals 0. This guy, we can add x to both sides, and so we'll say 5 equals x, or of course, x equals 5. And then the last critter here, we're going to subtract 5, and we'll have x equals negative 5. So we actually have three different values for x, and it looks like x equals 0 and plus and minus 5. So here are the three solutions for our original equation here, and we solved this by making sure that all the terms were on one side, and they were because that was how the equation was given to us. And then we factored and used the zero property of multiplication to find those three values.